You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Deception After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Deception After Show.
What's up, everyone? Bing is for doing, and we are doing another episode of Deception Season 1, Episode 5, titled Why Wait? I am your host, Bamm Ericsen, and I would like to introduce my lovely co-host.
What's up? I am Megan Thomas.
And I am Amber Jaye.
And so, Mr. Thaddeus Massey, he's not in today, as you can see, so I'm taking over his spot for him, but we wish him, you know, he'll be back next week. So
the best. We miss you, Thaddeus.
All right.
Yes.
So last night's episode was a really great episode. What do you guys think?
Oh my gosh, I think this was the best for me. This was the best one yet.
Mm-hmm.
Same here. I loved it. It was like I was waiting for them to go here, so I'm really glad that they did. It was such a good episode.
All right, so let's dive into it. Let's talk about Ben and the file. You know, we left off last week where he was in Bowers, and he was breaking into the computers, and that's when Megan Good's character, you know, trampled him, chased him, you know, in her wedges, and she tackled him down the stairs, and she revealed that she's a cop. So now we continue, and they're at the precinct, and she's questioning him along with Will.
And this is where it gets interesting with Baby Daddy Ben. I know you hate that term. So they're questioning Ben, and Ben tells them that he worked for the research team in Thailand that did the testing for Lyritrol. And in the testing, he said they found out that 27 people died when a typical trial that should pass, you know, and go through the FDA only has maybe 1 or 2 deaths. So these people were paid off, their families were paid off, and he gets transferred to the research and development team in New York. That's where he meets Vivian. He says they fall in love, and he really cares for her. So the reason why he was at Bowers Pharmaceutical was because he was trying to steal a file. Now, in this file, it shows the payoffs to these families for the deaths of their family members because of Lyritrol. So that is where we're at, and that is a very big key.
Yes, and Vivian had the list, which it disappeared the night that she died.
Yes.
Also, what was interesting was originally Ben wasn't giving up the information. So to get a little, she gave. And what she did, she revealed to Ben that she's a cop from San Francisco and that she's a friend of Vivian and she wants answers. Will wasn't really happy with that, but it worked in her favor.
It did.
Do you think that was a smart choice for her to reveal? I mean, she already said she was a cop.
I think it was. I think it was one of the smartest choices because he was like, oh, you're the Joanna. So, you know, we know that they had a rocky past, but it's like he was important to her. You know, Vivian loved him and that she told him about Joanna. So, like, it's like Vivian really did miss her and miss their friendship. And so it shows us that Joanna was, you know, a piece of her life. And, you know, she still, you know, would have, it makes Joanna kind of more relevant to me, at least.
Yeah.
Because at least we know that the friendship isn't so one-sided. And for Ben, I think it made him feel a little bit more comfortable. Even though I don't fully trust him, I think it made him feel more comfortable. And, like, the method that Will was using just wasn't working. Yeah. Like, you know, we're going to sit here for 6 hours. I can sit here for 6 more. I'm still not going to tell you anything. Like, we can sit here all you want, you know? So I think that it really opened up a lot. And it kind of made us, you know, more aware of what's going on. Even though Will didn't like it, but, you know, he doesn't like anything that Joanna does for real, so.
Yes. And so now we're trying to figure out how on earth are they going to get this file that Ben was in the process of pulling off the server when Joanna caught him. So then we go to the office. Joanna's at the office, and she steals Robert Bowers' pass, his badge, to go into the computer room to get on the same server and to pull the file off. So Ben is giving her directions on which file it is.
Okay, I think I know where you're going. So Joanna's on the computer trying to, Ben is walking her through. And then Will just has to say something like, he's trying to like, hurry up. And he's just like, he's being a total ass. Like, give the guy a couple seconds to just regroup. He hasn't been in that environment for a while. And so
but he was just there. Like, Will is doing his job, Bamm. Like, he's being an FBI agent. Like, he's like, what are you talking about? Like, if the file is here, then why don't you remember what you were just looking for this a day ago? How come you don't know the name of it?
Okay.
But I'm think about it, because when Joanna went in to look at all the files, there were a lot of files. So maybe he was trying to remember exactly which file it was, because
if I'm looking for something important, I know what it says, I know what it is, I know my computer. He was taking his time. He was pussyfooting around. Like, nobody has time for that. Like, Will was doing his job and keeping, because like I said, I don't trust the baby daddy. I don't trust Ben. And this episode made me trust him even less. Because when they were looking at the files, when Edward figured out the file that he was looking for, like on the server, that file, like even like when Samantha was going through it on the computer, it was like numbers and charts. It didn't have any of those family names. It didn't.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe we didn't get to see every single file, every single document that was on this file, but it does have numbers in it, so maybe those numbers coincide with a patient number versus like their actual name or something.
It looked like a whole bunch of nonsense to me.
Which is exactly what Edward said. He was like, I don't understand why he would pull this, why he was looking at this file, and why he didn't get it.
And Edward knows about the families that died, remember, because he told his wife. So I think Ben was BSing them.
You know what? After listening to your points, okay, you're right. I take back what I said. Yeah, okay.
We can't talk about our husband like that.
Yes,
I want to defend him. Yeah, I get him on Monday through Wednesday.
So what? Who cares?
Thursday through Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday he's free. He's off.
So let's continue with the file, because now we mentioned Edward. So Edward was also a very good part of this, because Edward was who Vivian and Ben notified about this, and Edward said that, rather than try to let this information get out, let's try to figure out if this is right first. And so Edward has obviously something to do with this. So now let's equate Edward and his wife Samantha into this.
I actually like the fact that we got to see more of Edward and Samantha's relationship, because if you remember in the first episode, it was kind of rocky, and they're separated. They don't seem like they have a really good rapport. But this episode, I think we really get to see the fact that Samantha loves Edward, and they do have a really loving relationship. When she picks him up from the hospital after he got knocked in the back of the head by Ben, they're having this conversation, and she's like, "Tell me what's going on." Like,
and they're in Escalade.
They're in the car, and she pulls a boss move. She stops that car, she takes the keys out. She's like, "No, you're gonna tell me what's going on."
And she's like, "I'm not."
Whatever.
And Megan, and she was like, "I'm not stupid, so you're gonna tell me." And so that was
the fact that he told her, like, "I like that."
Yeah.
And she was like, "I don't think you're a murderer." And when he told his side of the story, that's when I stopped trusting Ben, because I was like, Ben is trying to put this on Edward. Like, that's what I thought.
There are some things that I don't quite believe as far as Edward is concerned, but Edward, I'm 50-50.
I don't know. I don't think
believe
he did it. I don't think he did it.
And when he told his wife, like, "I'm not a murderer," she was like, "I believe you."
And his feelings were just, you could see that he was so happy too.
And Edward said, everyone, when Samantha said, let's take this to the police, and he was like, well, everyone thinks that I killed Vivian. And she said, no, I don't think you killed him.
I know, that was so sweet. Especially because look, you're so rude. Because in the last episode, I felt really bad for him when, he asked his dad, "Did I kill that girl?" And his dad didn't answer him. So now he's dealing with the guilt of, maybe I did kill her and I just don't remember. Maybe I am a murderer. So now he's got somebody in his corner that's like, "No, I know you, and I know you wouldn't kill that girl." Like, I never believed that. So, we see that Samantha's a very supportive wife. I'm on Team Samantha right now.
I just wish that she had those, I don't want to say balls, but I wish she had that strong woman skills. A couple weeks ago when Sophia hemmed her ass up with that racket, I wish she would have the same balls that she had with her husband with Sophia.
I mean, Sophia's scary, though.
She is.
Yeah,
I would be scared
Edward's kind of
too.
scary, too, but Sophia, like, she's like, "I'll kill you," scary. So
Yeah.
Okay, and then so let's go back to when Joanna was back getting information and she almost got caught.
Again.
Yes. Okay, so Robert Bowers was, with the journalist, which we'll talk about later, and he tries to come back to the building, and he doesn't have his ID. They're like really strict about, letting people in now because of the break-in. And so he gets upstairs to his office, and he's like, "Where's Joanna? Have you seen Joanna? She's nowhere to be found," and he's looking for his ID. She pops up, and he's like, "I can't find my ID." And, she's like, "Oh, let me help you look for it."
And the ID is in her hand.
It's in her hand, yeah.
Yeah.
So she pulls open a drawer, and she's like, "It's right here." Robert Bowers is not stupid. He gives her the look of death, like, "I looked in that drawer.
Right.
What are you talking about?" So I think...
And her response, I think if she would have gave a better response rather than say, she should have said, she should have opened the drawer and she should have used her hands like she was digging something. You know what I'm
She should
saying?
have looked in more than one drawer.
Yeah.
How do you
Flip
look
it around, look on the floor,
what I'm saying.
put it under the coffee cup, anything, Joanna. Like,
And you just saw this man go in that drawer because you walked in and he just shut that drawer. So why don't you look at like 2 or 3 drawers and then be like, "Oh, it's right here."
That was not good. So
It wasn't. She's getting
and so,
sloppy.
Yeah, she's getting really sloppy,
Yeah.
and the look that he gave her lets me know that he is not as stupid as we think he is. Like, I think he has like a feeling of why Joanna's there, but
Yeah.
Joanna's like one of his pawns in his game.
yeah.
So I think
Exactly.
that will, it's not predictions, but I think that, he's not, and he's like, all the stuff that Edward's been saying to him, and just seeing her, sulking around, like he knows, like something is up, and she definitely needs to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah.
Speaking of not being careful, let's go. Oh, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, that's when because Joanna couldn't find the file, that's when they started accusing Ben of saying, "Hey, Ben, we didn't find the file. Like, this is starting to sound like you might have killed Vivian." And he's like, "No, it wasn't me. There was no way. I love her. She loved me," that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, he gets released. He made bail, $50,000. And
But also, let's also make it clear that when Joanne and Will left, when they left to question him, they had a conversation outside, and they also don't think that Ben is lying, yet they were questioning him because they were just saying that some things didn't add up.
exactly. So
So-
they're not so sure about Edward being the killer anymore. They're like, all this Edward Bowers stuff doesn't match up. So now we find out somebody paid $50,000 because Ben didn't have it, and he gets released.
Who bailed Ben out of jail?
That's a
what
good
I really
question.
want to know.
Yeah.
Like, who bailed him out? It wasn't Edward, because
you
Edward
sure?
was looking for him. I think it was Julian.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was
anyone
Julian.
in the Bowers family,
Maybe it was
or
the
unless it was
boyfriend.
Daddy Bowers. I think.
What if it was the wife?
But she doesn't know about him. She doesn't know about Ben.
She knows all about Ben, because Edward's like, the only person who can figure this out for me is Ben. Remember when they're talking at the computer?
Oh, Samantha. I thought you meant Sophia. Sorry.
Oh, no, Samantha.
I'm baffled. I don't know
I
who.
don't know who could have let him out. But whoever it was, I think it was the same person. So if you notice, after that, he's on a payphone and he tells the person, "I did my job. I'm done. Don't contact me again." And he goes and he's crossing the street. Somebody tases him, and he goes out in the street and gets hit by a bus.
Who tased Ben?
It's a guy with a hood. I think it's the same people that killed Remy Colville in the first episode.
It could be, and it's just a coincidence that Edward is driving in a cab and sees them standing out on the sidewalk before it's time to cross. So I think that's gonna come into play as far as that guy who tased them, because it was very blatant. Like, but then I don't know. I've never been tased, thank goodness. But would a tase make you go all the way out into the
No,
middle?
a tase would lay you out on the ground. You're not
Yeah,
gonna just
he,
be like,
staggers
"Hey,
in the street," and then a light rail happens to be coming past. Like,
right? Yeah.
That's part of this, like, NBC. That's some of the stuff that I don't want you to do. This episode was really good, but it had its cheesy parts like that. Like,
Yes,
Yeah.
that was a bit. That wasn't really real.
yeah, like, it would be more real if somebody pushed him in front of the train.
yes,
Not tases him. And
A
then,
bus,
It was a bus?
Yes,
it was a bus.
it was a
I
bus.
thought it was a train.
because they were on the streets of New York.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
then I take it back.
Let's go into Mia's now finding out. It's revealed that Sophia is not her mom.
No, I feel bad for her because
do
she's
too.
such a nice. She's the only, like Julian said, she's the only innocent one in this whole thing. Nobody is free.
But to
of
that
any
regard, I know
issues.
this is not a little off topic. When he says that, doesn't it make you think that they're all in on it?
On what? Killing Vivian?
Yes.
No. You really believe that?
When he says that she's the only innocent one, like, what is he talking about?
I think the fact that all of them have a sordid past. Like, he's a womanizer. He's probably cheated, lied, stole.
I just think they all had something to do with it. I think, like, there's one killer, but all of them led to her death.
I just don't think, I don't know. I just don't think, I guess I'm just happy and don't want them to be killers.
Well, what I thought was interesting, because we knew that this was going to happen from last week's predictions. So the girl who's a part of the magazine, her name is
Nicole
Frechette.
Yes, Nicole Frechette. So she's in with her boss, and she brings to her boss the lady by the name of Buffy, who used to be close friends with Catherine Bowers, which is Robert's first wife. And what happens is she dies tragically, and then Sophia comes in, and Buffy's pushed to the side, and she hadn't seen them for years until she runs into to Sophia and Robert at a dude ranch in Montana.
First of all, what were you doing at a dude ranch in Montana, Buffy? She was not riding no horses because she was kind of big.
But I'm a
she's not big, she's old.
but I'm
Old, big, all the same to me.
16 years ago, maybe she wasn't, but rich people, they like that's
Yeah,
you know
that's what they do.
Okay,
they
but
get away.
Buffy looks really old.
But she's like the age of Daddy Bowers. She's like
Yeah.
Robert Bowers.
But they
age.
could have made her look a little like that's your best friend looking like that. You wouldn't have had a best friend if you were.
But we don't know what the first wife.
Yeah, we don't know what she
We don't
looked
know
like.
what she looks like.
I hope she didn't look like Buffy.
Yeah.
That's really mean.
I'm sorry.
Give me
I
your
just,
hand so I can smack it.
I just didn't want her to look like that.
Well, Buffy had a picture of Sophia when she was allegedly 1 week pregnant. So basically,
No. It was 1 week before she
due
was
date.
due.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 1 week before the due date. And so they probably went to this ranch to hide away so that while she was pregnant. And so anyway, Buffy has this picture. It's revealed that obviously she's not the mom. And so I thought that was a great scene opening for it to reveal that this was going to happen. And then so what happens is they were going to release it to the tabloids, and then Bob gets a call saying that, hey, we're going to release this information. Sophia's like, no, you can't do this, because then Mia's going to want to know about the father. And it's left at that.
And she's like, you fix it.
You fix it. Don't let Sophia didn't want the night to be ruined for her debutante ball. And so Robert goes to the gossip magazine, and he uses his ways, and he completely knocks it out.
Yes.
And he agrees to give them an exclusive family interview in which the reporter, her name is Nicole, would have to answer the questions. She blows up, and she gets really pissed off.
She calls her boss a gutless cow.
Yeah, she calls her a gutless cow, and she's fired. I thought that was stupid. To fire her on the spot like that, just because she had all this information. Yeah, she called her a gutless cow. Just, she should have just said, get out of my office. I'll deal with you later. Because remember, she's been investigating. She has all this information. You never know who she's going to go to next to sell this story.
But remember, she was a B-rate journalist, and like, as a journalist, you have to have the means to get something out. Like, I can tweet something, but I only have like 300 followers. So those 300 people are only going to know about it. So it's like she didn't have the medium to release the story anymore. So I think that's why she fired her, because it was like, she's fired, she has all her story here.
Yeah.
We own it now.
Yeah.
It's the property of our company. She can't really do much with it.
And I think just the simple fact that Robert Bowers was sitting right there, and who knows what he told her before Nicole walked in.
Yeah.
True.
He probably, she understands, her boss understands, like, the legal team said there were some issues. So for her, it was like, we can't even touch this story. It doesn't matter. We can't touch this with a 10-foot pole, because we'll get sued, our magazine will get shut down, and that's it. So I think for that, that's why she was like, I gotta let you go. You're not gonna punk me in front of Robert Bowers, who has a lot of power.
Me, period. Like, you're not gonna call me a gutless cow and I sign your paycheck. Like, that's what's not gonna happen. So,
well, you guys are two great, fabulous journalists. So, you've spoken and you've given great points. I'm just saying that I would have.
Dan would have walked away and went to the New York Times.
Yeah.
But they knew she couldn't, because at this point, it didn't matter. This is obviously, Daddy Bowers has power. Everyone knows that. So if he's moved heaven and earth to make sure this magazine doesn't publish that story, please believe he's going to make sure it's not published anywhere. Because who knows how much money he gave them? Probably like $10 million here. Don't say anything.
And then he also threatened her when she walked out the door. She tried to call him out, call his bluff.
She had some guts.
Yeah,
she
she
just
did.
walked up to him like, hey.
Like,
I guess I don't have anything to lose. I don't have a job
I guess
anymore.
you don't have bills in New York because I would never do that.
Yeah, and and Bob basically said, "I'll kill you before this story is revealed to the public and ruin my little daughter's life."
And I think she's gonna die.
Oh yeah, anybody that
I know she's
messes
gonna
with them,
die.
yeah, they always get killed. And it was really like that. It also opened up the window to see how evil Robert Bowers is. He made her feel like trash. He called her all types of names, talked about the school she went to, said she didn't have a career. Like, he just went in on her.
Yeah.
That was tough. That was sad for me.
I mean, I was very proud of him, though. I mean, like, I was like, dang, like.
But she's telling the truth, though. Like, she's like, your
telling the
daughter's
truth.
news. I'm sorry. She's not exempt.
She's telling the truth, but I like the way not the way he does it, but like the way he protects his family. It's kind of admirable. Like, okay, yeah, you're going around killing people, and that's not cool. But like, Robert Bowers like rides for his children no matter what. Like, if they're wrong, if they're right. Like,
but does that make it okay? Like, if your son kills somebody?
I mean, I'm a very loyal person, so I feel like loyalty should be one of your first qualities. No, it doesn't make it okay, but I do appreciate his loyalty.
You know who's very loyal and rides for AfterBuzz TV?
iTunes.
Yes.
They are awesome. So what we need you to do is go to iTunes, go ahead and rate and comment our podcast because we love hearing what you guys have to say. And most importantly, give us 5 stars. We need 5 stars. And tell your friends about it. You know, the more people that know about it, the more we can continue to talk about Deception, this wonderful show. So make sure you go to iTunes, download the podcast, tell your friends.
Only takes a minute. You know,
Only takes
show
a
us
minute.
some love.
There you go.
So let's continue with Mia finding out. So now I keep forgetting the girl's name.
Nicole.
Nicole is back at her job with was he a boo thing or like I had never seen the guy?
Oh no, hold on. Before that though, she goes to see Will. She goes.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's like, well, this is the guy that killed Remy. I know it. And so that's really weird. Like, how does she know to go talk to Will?
Well, because, you know, I think she said she had Remy's notes, and then she also met Will before, like, in, like, episode 2, I think.
But, and then also Will referenced that, you know, you're my friends, you know, let this go because Bob is powerful. And so I'm thinking, well, how long have you guys known each other?
No, they just met.
Right, but he referenced, like, you're my friends.
Well, he means, like, I mean, I don't think in a sense of, like, we hang out and we
So I
go
took
golfing.
it, so okay, got it. Maybe I
like-
took it too far.
Not like we're friends. Yay.
Got it.
I like that. No, just a friend like I know you. And he also knows like the kind of power that the Bowers family has. If, for example, you mess with them, you die. We all know that. You mess with him, you die. That's what happened with Remy. You mess with him, he died. Look at Ben. Ben messed with him, he's dead.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want that to
Better
happen
put us
to
with
her.
Bowers. Like,
Yes.
that's all I can say about that.
Yes.
So
And then she goes back to
she goes back to the office, and she emails a copy of the story.
Who was the guy that she was with?
He was on a random hookup.
Yeah, so
He's
she
like,
was
"Can we have
drunk.
sex now?"
She was
Like-
drunk. She's like, I don't work here anymore. My badge still works. Let's go to my office. And so then she decides she wants to go get frisky, kind of as payback. And while she's there, that's where she gets the bright idea to.
Right. Well, as she's on top of the desk, the information is right there on the computer
Still
screen,
queued up.
and it's still queued up. So, I mean, would you have done that?
Absolutely.
I would have too.
I don't know. You guys are. It depends. I probably would have held it in my back pocket.
I would have,
I would have taken that
had
story.
I been drinking, probably. But in retrospect, like thinking about it, like she's gonna die from it, so it's not worth death.
But also, she's drunk. But if it's sent and it's sent at the office, who's to that? That wasn't her computer. So how would
How do
they?
you know that wasn't her computer? I thought
don't
it was
know.
her computer.
Was it?
I think so, because then how else would she have known? Like, who?
Oh my gosh, that's so true though, Bamm.
I mean, it doesn't, we don't know where a computer was, but I mean, that literally could have been, you know, when people are doing stories, there's a couple
Yeah.
people that's involved. So the blame can easily be put on someone else. So all she did was click and send it. If they don't have proof that she was actually in there,
That's so true. They're gonna go after somebody else.
Yeah.
I know, but I think it was
gutless cow's
hers.
gonna die.
I know. I think it was her computer because she knew what the contacts were. She knew all that stuff. And you remember she said, "This is my story" when she was telling.
She did.
So maybe it was her computer. But either way, she doesn't work there anymore. What are they going to do? They're going to fire her again? No. So
like I said,
she had nothing to lose at that point, I guess.
I would have did it. Click, sent, and and then so from there, do you want to just talk about you want to talk about the ball?
Yes.
All right.
So then Mia is getting ready for her coming out to society, her debutante cotillion, and everybody's there. The whole family's there. And this is so sad because she's just like, she had a nice little moment with her mother, Sophia. Sophia gives her these pearls, and she's really, you can see that. I think Sophia really does love her. And Sophia doesn't have any children of her own that we know of. So to her, Mia is her baby.
Right.
She's raised Mia since she was born. So, we see that she really loves her. And now we're at the ball, and everybody's looking on their phones as they're waiting to come out, and they find all of her friends see on the blogs that Mia is not Sophia's daughter. She's Vivian's daughter. Could she be Vivian's daughter? And so her friend Aaron,
He was so nice.
Yes.
I think that was really noble of him. Men don't usually do stuff like that. And Aaron was super cool about it. Like, don't show her, like, let her have her
Ladies,
night.
get a little closer.
All right, come hold me. I think that was really, very gentlemanlike of him to do that. He tries to prevent, people from seeing it. He turns her phone off. He erases her messages.
And he tells him, don't tell her tonight. Like, just let her have tonight.
Yeah.
The only thing that I thought was how easily he snatched the phone from the girls. Like, you can't.
Yeah, you're not snatching my phone.
You can't snatching someone's phone. Like, you don't understand when people have their phones. It's not, you can't easily snatch it.
Well, she did go, hey, give that back.
Yeah, he'd have got in a normal situation. He got a punch. Like, you don't take a girl's phone.
You don't.
But anyway, that's just
Neither here nor there.
That's just me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then, he does a good job trying to prevent Mia from finding out, but then her friends, everybody's looking at her like, kind of like, and they're looking at their phone. So she's like, hold on, what's going on?
And what makes it worse is when she made her grand entrance, she's at the very top of the stairwell, and she's looking down, and she sees everything. She sees people snapping pictures. She sees people looking. So.
And she literally just found out that,
she walked down the stairs all brave and like,
she's a strong girl.
Yeah, she's a very strong girl.
Now, I thought it was going to take a different turn. So once it was announced that she was going to take the first dance with her dad, she was pretty calm when she confronted her dad about it. I was expecting more. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting something a little bit more dramatic. But she was pretty mature about the.
But how do you deal with that? Just because you find out, it's like she didn't have any time to process it. She literally finds out as she's getting ready to walk out into everyone and get introduced to society, and she has no time to process and go, well, who's my dad? Why have my parents been lying to me? Did they take me from Vivian? Like, she has no time to process this at all. So literally the first time she gets to talk about it is when she's dancing with her father.
Yeah.
So I guess she wants to start off calm because she's kind of like, well, what do I ask him?
I thought the dad, his answer was a little sorry.
I think he didn't expect it because he doesn't know that the story got released. He thinks everything's fine.
Yeah, but he just said, I'm so sorry.
I mean, what do you say?
What should he have said, Bamm?
Like, what would you say to your daughter if you really want her, if you were her grandfather and not her father?
Yes.
I probably would have, I don't know, maybe I would have stopped into my tracks, or I don't know, but just the tone in which he said it, it made it seem like he didn't really give a damn. I'm so sorry. The tone in it was just, it didn't work for me.
Oh, so he should have been like, I'm so sorry.
I don't know, something.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Maybe you shed a tear.
You know what?
No, but I'm saying, I think he was caught off guard because he literally thought it was handled. And he's just having a great night with his baby. His little baby girl is getting introduced to society. So he's thinking, like, the night's great. He's laughing with his wife. So he thinks everything's good, and then all of a sudden she's like, boom, Vivian's my mom, and he's like, whoa, what am I supposed to do here? So I think he did the best that he could, and then we see that Mia has kind of like she starts to go a little ballistic, and he's like, Sophia loves you. She's your mom. She loves you. We love you. And so she's like running away. Sophia tries to catch her. She's like, you had 16 years to tell me, and snatches those pearls off and runs out to the street.
It was very dramatic.
Very dramatic.
Where media is, snapping pictures of her.
Yeah. Yep.
And then of course, the biker boyfriend comes to the rescue, which she didn't want him actually to attend it, and so he chose not to. And then once he sees that the information is released, then he goes to look for her. He goes to the bar, and as she's outside, all in distress, there he comes on this bike. Let's just go anywhere.
But don't you like how he showed up at the nick of time? Like,
Yeah.
how did you know to show up right then as she was coming out?
It's like a Cinderella story. I love stuff like that.
Oh gosh, that is so unreal.
I'm a
You know that,
hopeless
right?
romantic, but I still
Yes, you
liked
are.
it. I like how he showed up at the nick of time, but I still don't trust him.
I don't either, because it's kind of like, I don't know. I think it's weird that you weren't asked to go and you decide to go anyway.
But he loves her.
How do you know? He just met her.
Yeah.
That's okay. I like stuff like that.
He's gonna kill her. I'm just saying. She better watch out.
True.
And he's kind of old, so there should be a statutory rape charge, because he was at a bar drinking.
Oh, snap!
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
You realize that? He was drinking. He's like 21. She's 16. That's kind of gross.
Maybe he's not 21. Maybe he just...
He just hangs out at bars?
Speaking of drinking, AfterBuzzTV.com. On our website, on the left side, there is an AfterBuzz TV store that you can click on, and you can purchase all of these great products that we have, such as the mugs, we have cups, we have water bottles, we have clothing for both men, women, and babies. And you guys always ask us about these mugs. So make sure you guys go to AfterBuzzTV.com. We have a store. You click on it and it has all of the things that you guys can purchase in different categories. Like I said, there's clothes, there's women's clothes, there's men's clothes, there's baby accessories, and there's a lot of cupware, I believe is what it says on the website. Is cupware. Is that right? Does that say cupware?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, cupware. And so you guys always ask us about these mugs, so make sure that you go to AfterBuzzTV.com, go to our store, and you can buy this great mug and other products.
Get yourself some AfterBuzz swag.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so...
So yes, that's what happens with Mia, and I feel bad for her because she really is the nicest one. But did you notice something about Senator Haverstock?
Yes.
Yes.
I think he was hilarious. How he took the swan's nose off. It was like an ice swan. He just
So
snapped the nose
obnoxious.
off and popped it in his martini glass and said, hey, YOLO, like, I'm just going to snap this beak off.
But his response, once everyone came outside and Mia was whisked away, they were outside and Joanne was outside, and then he comes up to Joanne and he says, they brought it on themselves, but this is fun to watch. I love it. Just classic comments when you see something happen to people that you can't stand.
And it's as sad as it is, he's probably telling the truth because he knows his family very well. So he knows some of the stuff that they've done to other people. And I mean, he does say
But
that
he's
it's
helped them do it because when they were trying to get Leotrod to the FDA, he was the person that's stopping them.
Yeah.
So it's like people in glass houses really shouldn't throw stones.
And don't throw rocks and hide your hand.
However, he does give some insight onto how other society people feel about the Bowers. Like everybody's waiting to see them fall.
I mean, yeah, but I guess they've done some dirty stuff, so wouldn't you?
I mean, I'm Team Bowers. I don't know about y'all.
Ah.
Haters.
Let's talk about some of the relationships that
Yes.
that went on. Let's first, we don't have this written down, but let's go into, we briefly talked about Edward and Samantha. And so we said that we really liked their relationship because it showed more of...
More lovingness.
More loving.
Loving kindness, yes.
And then, so what did you guys think about Bob and Sophia's relationship tonight, or for last night's episode?
It shows that Sophia runs that relationship. Bob might be the money, but she is the puppet that controls the money.
I don't know. I feel like she relies on him, like, because she was like, fix this. Like, you saw the panic. You could hear the panic in her voice. She was like, you've got to fix this. Don't let her find out. She cannot find out. She cannot find out tonight. So I think she does rely on him to kind of get stuff done.
Okay, and then quickly, let's go into Audrey and Julian.
Okay. Audrey is a consultant for these pharmaceutical companies. And she used to work for the Bowers, and now she works for, what's the company called? Kirshner?
Competitors.
Yeah, the competitors, Kirshner. They have a similar drug to Leotrol coming out, and Audrey has somehow gotten them on the FDA fast track list. So that means their drug is going to come out before Leotrol. She's obviously, really good at what she does because Robert wants her back, and obviously he can't buy her. And she had a relationship with Julian. And
what a shocker, right?
Right, what a shocker. She kind of reminded me of Miley Cyrus a little bit. She looked just like Miley Cyrus to me, so kudos to her for being so pretty. But Julian, she cheated on Julian, he cheated on her, they left each other. But it was really interesting because she told Robert that everybody starts off with the best of intentions. And I feel like she knows about all the Bowers deception, and so, like, she probably can't be bought, And I feel like she's going to become key in the next couple episodes. Like, Julian might try to get her back and, like, make her fall in love again to accelerate Leotrol, but he doesn't really care about her.
But it's really weird how she, once she goes, Julian invites her to the debutante ball, and she's kind of apprehensive on going. She tells her boss, like, hey, I've been invited, and her boss is like, why wouldn't you go? Go. Like, we know they can't take you from us, and it's kind of like, go ahead and mess with them. Go, be all in their faces like, hey, what's going on? We're fast-tracked, you're not. And she feels very apprehensive about it. So when she finally does go to the ball, she ends up going to the bathroom and, like, throws up, like, gets sick.
Yes.
So that's kind of weird because it's like, why do they bother you so much? What's going on that you're that messed up by the Bowers family that you feel like, I've got to go throw up. Like, I can't deal with this.
Maybe it's like her former love.
Yeah, or maybe she's pregnant.
Who's she pregnant by, Bamm?
I don't know.
Every time you tell somebody that you have, like, a little bit of not, are you drunk? Are you pregnant?
She's throwing up.
She's nervous.
Okay. Well, due to time, let's go quickly into Julian, Joanne, and Will. Anything we want to say in regards to their triangle?
Yes. I love how Will professed his love for her. Like, he was like, I thought, this was going to be open and shut case, and that we could pick up where we left off 2 years ago. And I like that. Like, men don't ever express their feelings, and I like that Will was able to express his to Joanna. They also got in trouble this episode.
They did. They were not allowed to be, they're pretty much not allowed to be together because Will's boss was like, hey, people are talking. What's going on with you guys? He sees them having a little lover spat when they were supposed to be questioning Ben. And his boss is just like, people are talking. You guys got to fix this. So then they decide it's better for them to not be together, especially with the circumstances being what they are.
Okay. I have no comment about that one. It's,
It's too girly for you?
It's...
You don't profess your love for anybody, Bamm?
And news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV.
Stone cold.
Simp on the low.
All right, so
this week was very interesting. I found out that Victor Garber, who plays Robert Bowers, is gay.
Oh.
He is. So he recently had an interview, and he said that it's old news that he never really talks about it, but he said that he's been with his partner, who's a artist / model. He's been with him for like 13 years. And he's just like, yeah, it's not something everybody knows, but I don't really talk about it because it's my private life. So that was interesting because I didn't know he was gay. He plays a husband to Sophia very well. So yes,
I knew that.
Did you?
I did not know that. You didn't even tell us.
A lot of people don't know that. There's a lot of chatter about that. All right.
Okay, so my news and gossip, again, I always talk about the ratings. 16% of our audience is falling off. We lost 16% of our viewers. But it was still 3.1 million viewers, putting it in one of the top spots. And it was interesting enough to show that NBC held their ratings even after CBS had the Super Bowl this week, or this past week. So that was really cool. Like, the NBC shows are, like, holding their own. And my other news and gossip is, did you guys know that Lanza was Cuban?
Yeah.
He's 100% Cuban. I thought he was, like, Afro-Cuban, but he's not. He's 100% Cuban. I didn't know that. So he did.
I didn't know he was 100%, but yeah.
So he did an interview with Latina magazine, and they asked him, like, what do you love about your character? And he just said that he likes the fact that Will is very honest and very in touch with his feelings, and that his character, like, can show the sensitive parts of a man and also the manly parts. And he also said that in the show, we're gonna find out who the killer is. It's about to get really juicy. But even though that they reveal the killer, it's not gonna take away from the drama, because once the killer is revealed, it's gonna shock you, and it's gonna keep the cycle going.
Oh,
nice.
So you can check out his interview in Latina Magazine at latina.com, and it was really good and gave us an insight to him and how he deals with his thing. So, but the relevant parts were how he talked about deception.
Okay, and then just one other thing, Alonzo and Megan Good also presented at the NAACP Image Awards last Friday. So if you watched that, obviously you saw them and they threw in a plug in about deception. So it was great to see them together to promote the movie. So let's go into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
so I will start, and I will tell you this. I think next week we saw on the previews that they're supposed to find out who the dad is, of who's Mia's real dad. I have a feeling Senator Haverstock is somehow involved. And we had one of our viewers posted on YouTube that they felt like he might actually be the father.
I don't think that it's gonna go that far.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think we'll be deceived. I don't think, my predictions are totally different.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with Mia. I think that we're gonna dig deeper into this case. And it didn't happen this episode, but I think Mia's boyfriend, his true colors are gonna show. And more about Ben's killer and like what happened with Ben is gonna become like more of an overarching theme. But I'm really excited about next week because we get to see like a little bit of the past with Joanna and Vivian.
Okay, my prediction is the boyfriend. As far as who tased Ben, that is going to be a very important factor because it was very obvious the way he was tased. So we're gonna figure out who tased him. And then as far as who is Mia's dad, I really don't know. It could be Senator. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But what I do know is that it's time for us to go. But we're gonna have you guys make sure you check us back here next Tuesday to catch another Deception After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Let everyone know where you guys can be found on social media.
You can find me on Twitter at I'm Amber Jaye, Jaye.
And you can find me on Twitter and Facebook as well at Meg Scoop on both of them.
And you can find me at Bamm Ericsen, that's BAMMERICSEN on Twitter and Instagram. And Club Thaddeus, he will be back next week. So we want to thank you guys for watching another AfterBuzz TV recap of Deception, Season 1, Episode 5, Why Wait? See you guys next Tuesday.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.